Hi, welcome to the Beer Frontier. My name is Gage.
And I'm Robert, and as ever we're here for the beer. And today we're going to be looking at brown ale.
Brown ale's good ale. We're also going out to visit Ben the home brewer.
We're going to look at a couple of local brown ales.
We'll go and visit our pet chef Enzo.
And we've got a famous imported brown ale to look at.
We'll go on the road to visit a microbrewery.
So, Gage, what is brown ale?
Brown ale, Robert, is a malt-driven beer, so it's not a hoppy beer, it's malty sweet. It's light amber, or darkish amber, light brown colour. It's an ale. Now, these beers have their flavour. The flavour impacts is the malt and the yeast, which is the fruity type esters, not the hops. So they don't smell of hops and they don't taste of hops. You of course get some bittering on the end from the hops there. So these are quite easy to drink ales, typically 4.5 to 5.5% alcohol, which came out of England.
Yes, a very typical English beer. Now, today we'll be looking at Newcastle Brown Ale, which introducing a little bit early because it has come to us in a clear glass bottle. And this might be a bit of a problem, Gage, do you think? Yeah,
it is a bit of a problem actually, because some hops are light sensitive and they get protection from light from dark brown glass, and clear glass and light green doesn't offer much protection at all. And unless the hops have been bred not to be light sensitive, they can get light struck and get some skunky type flavours and aromas. But the real problem is you've got a beer that's come all across the world, right? Extremes of temperature, crossing the equator, and it's in clear glass. So I've got to say, I normally avoid buying beers in clear glass, but this one, for romantic historical reasons, I thought I'd give a try. But there seems to be huge variation from bottle to bottle, so we'll see what's in the bottle.
Yes, we'll see what that's like later on. It reminds me when I was a kid, back when I was young, I lived in Papua New Guinea, and the local brewery there was SP, South Pacific, and they would make greenies and brownies, and everybody would swear that they taste differently. And maybe this is the reason why, because one was in green glass, one was in brown glass. But the brewery, of course, would swear there's no difference at all between them at all.
Well, the brewery would say that, wouldn't they?
Well, they would, yes.
Yes.
Okay, let's go and see what Ben the home brewer is up to.
Okay, so we've finished our boil now. I'm just about to turn the flame off. I'll do that right now. There we go. So this has been sitting here boiling for just over an hour. I put the hops in at 60 minutes to go to give the bitter flavours. I put some in about 20 minutes to go just to give some nice mouthfeel flavours. And then I'm just going to pop these ones in right at the end. There you go, just for the aroma on the nose, so we get that beautiful hop smell. As you may be able to see, what I've got here, I've got my wort chiller in here. This is a copper coil that goes round. I'm just about to turn that on. I've got to get this down from boiling down to around about 20 degrees, and then I can basically rack this off into my fermenters. What I do first though, I'm just going to give this a bit of a stir, and in doing so I'm going to create a small whirlpool in there. What this is going to do for me is help grab all those proteins and spin them into the solution, and then they will settle down in a cone shape, hopefully at the bottom. Obviously you can do this with more advanced technologies such as a pump. There's nothing wrong with using the old hand. It does the job quite well. So there you have it. That really is all we have to do the end of the boil. I'm going to go turn that water on now, chill this down, and then it's off to the fermenters. I'll speak to you guys next week when we move on to fermentation and addition of yeast.
Okay, welcome back to the keg room, and today we're going to look at a couple of local brown ales. We've got Jamison Brown Ale and a perennial favourite, Tooheys Old.
Jamison is a brew pub based at Jamison, up about 20 minutes from Mansfield in Victoria's High Country. And they have a pub and they do meals and they brew, I think, 4 or 5 different beers. One, just going sideways for a moment, it's a raspberry flavoured beer, which looks absolutely magnificent in the glass. But this is, I think, one of the first beers they brewed, the brown ale, and it's, I think of the brown ale first when I think of Jamison. The second one, the second beer, well, I've decided it's a brown ale. It's 2 years old. Now, in one guise or another, this beer's been around since about the 1870s. Now, it's a bit difficult to get the truth because it's Kirin and they give this beer 4 sentences on their website. It was at one stage known as Hunter Old, and even though it's been around in keg for a long time, it's been in bottles since about 1970. So, but it is a link to the past. So it is an ale, it is a top fermented beer, and it's different. So what did you think of the Jamison, Robert?
The Jamison, well, true to style. It's quite a darkish colour. It's got a good roast malty taste to it. Slightly dry taste, slightly hoppy, slightly fruity. True to style. It's pretty good, easy drinking beer, I'd say. I think that's worth 3 stars from me.
Yeah, the Jamison, well, it certainly is what you expect from a brown ale to look at, and it looks very attractive in the glass. It's true to style, but it's not very exciting. It's a bit simple. I'm not saying it's not well-made beer. I think it's a nice beer, but it just doesn't have something to push it past the rest of the pack. No, I reckon I'm going to give this 2.5 stars. Good beer, but...
straight down the middle.
Straight down the middle, yeah.
Yeah. Now, the 2 is old. Straight away, I'm struck by the cereal quality of the smell of it. It's got a very nice malty smell to it. It's quite a bit darker in colour. It's got a good mouthfeel, very nice flavour. And let me say too, this is actually excellent value for money, this beer, because at the same price or less than your usual industrial beers like VB or Tooheys Red or something like that, it's excellent value, and it's a good beer. It really is a good beer, and 3.5 stars for me.
Flavour impact is what got me on this beer. It's got lots of flavour from straight up, and it's really well balanced, and it's a highly distinctive beer. Look, this beer should actually be a cult. This beer is probably as important to Australian brewing as Cooper's Sparkling Ale, but down here in Victoria, people don't get that excited about it, but it is a close link to our brewing history. I'm not sure 3.5 or 4, but I'm thinking, yeah, 3.5. It's very good beer. Quite a lot of pleasure from drinking this one.
Hi, welcome back. My name is Enzo. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make a chicken scallopina, my version of chicken scallopina. Very, very simple recipe. It will take just a couple of minutes to do it. Obviously, we're going to glaze this with this pale ale beer. And what I've used is also chicken breast. Cut it very thin, slice it. We have kaffir lime, we have garlic, we have oil and butter to go in a fry pan. We have honey and a Parisian zucchini and a cherry tomato as well to just bring a little bit extra texture into it. Well, very simple. A fry pan, just a little bit of oil on the bottom, a knob of butter, and that's because the butter will not burn out too quickly, and also make sure that we got plenty for the glaze. While this is happening, I'm going to chiffonade a kaffir lime, just like that. crush some garlic. Just a little bit of nice and coarse. Putting my Parisienne. Oh, smell that beautiful kaffir lime. I love kaffir lime. My Parisienne zucchini. And in the meantime, I'm going to flour this chicken breast. Now, I've chosen this beer today because it's nice and light, doesn't have a strong flavor, and I think it will make a beautiful glaze for my scallopine. Very simple recipe, doesn't take really much to do it. Now, if you cut, obviously, your chicken breast nice and thin, it will take a couple of really seconds to cook each side. Don't forget the seasoning, the salt and the cracked pepper, they will put later. And then we will glaze that with the beer and a bit of honey. Now the beer is going to bring a little bit of bitterness into it. The honey will compensate, it will balance that flavor. It's my Parisienne here. Oh, that's beautiful smell. That simple combination of food sometimes is the most beautiful part of it. Put my chicken into it. Like that. And on the end, very low flame, not too high so that the butter doesn't burn out. We want also some crunchiness into it, and that is going to be provided by the zucchini. Just a light brown from one side very quickly. Remember, chicken breast, if you overcook it, becomes very dry. We don't want that, so we want to make it still juicy and nice and light as well. So like this. Then I will put my cherry tomatoes, just a couple of them into it. A cracked pepper. My salt. Just a tiny bit of butter right on the end. And dulcis in fundo, the beer for the glaze. So, oh, that's the beer coming. The honey, just 1 teaspoon of honey into it. And the dish is very much done. So, plating time. While my sauce is reducing, the chicken breast is all cooked. And I'm going to plate this up very quickly. Otherwise, the chicken will dry out. And the recipe is done. I'll bet, Gage, you will love this. And because it's very light and a very summery sort of dish. That's my glaze all the way around. Chicken and kids, they also go very well together. So the moms out there, make sure you actually cook this. Maybe the beer is a good twist to it. Here we go. Voila. Bon appetit.